What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik. I'm the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and we got to talk today about the Arizona Cardinals and more specifically Kliff Kingsbury. If you're going to go early and you're going to start looking at some front runners for the top awards in the entire NFL, you might actually have two very strong candidates on the Arizona Cardinals, and Kliff Kingsbury is one of them. For me, I'm looking at Kliff Kingsbury as probably my coach of the year at this point. Yes, I know you'll get some somewhat valid arguments from people who are looking at Rule in Carolina and some other teams that are having, maybe surprisingly strong starts. Of course, Buffalo's 3-1, but I think Buffalo, everybody kind of expected Buffalo to be 3-1. The Bengals are 3-1. You might look at them as well as they're tied for first place. John Gruden has the Raiders undefeated heading into Monday night's game, right? But if you look at everything in totality and you look at what the Cardinals have done with Kliff Kingsbury, yes, they have the number one offense in the league, highest scoring offense in the league at 34 points per game, or 35 points per game. And you also look at the fact they have the number one offense in the league from a yards per game standpoint at 440.5. They're not too far down in rushing, but they're near in the top five in passing offense. When you consider that they've done this on the offensive side of the ball, with DeAndre Hopkins being hobbled most of the year, this is your number one wide receiver. Very few offenses, if any, in the NFL could be ranked this high in major statistical categories with their number one player, their number one passing option, hurting most of the season. While he hasn't missed a game, he has been hurting. But still, the Cardinals haven't missed a beat. Not to mention the fact that they've been without a man who was pretty much synonymous with their offense for years and that's Larry Fitzgerald. So they've done what they've done on offense, but defensively, they've been strong, or at least been steady enough considering how high-powered this offense is. We're looking at a team that is ranked 10th in the NFL in points allowed per game. And while, they're not going to be mistaken for the 85 Bears anytime soon, they've done their job on that side of the ball with a bend but don't break sort of a defense, especially when it comes to passing defense, which is where they've been the strongest. I love what the Cardinals have done, and I think what puts them over the top for me when I start talking about who is going to be, or who is my pick to be the coach of the year, is when you look at the wins that they've had this year. The Cardinals have not just beaten nobodies. I mean, we're looking at victories over the Tennessee Titans, which that is what it is, but they won 38-13. They put a lot of tough one against the Vikings, 34-33. That was a game that Kyler Murray said last year, we probably lose this game. Then they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they turn around and beat the Rams. Now, the Jaguars, of course, are not not a fantastic team either, but the Rams, that victory over the Rams, and I know the Vikings don't have a great record, but it was the style of win. It was the way they pulled the victory out. And then, of course, the 37-20 victory over the Rams. The Rams are coming off a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the week before that. I think the Cardinals are flying high. I'm not going to say they're the number one team in the NFC, even though I know they are undefeated. But if you ask me who is the front runner for coach of the year, it's Kliff Kingsbury, and it's for those reasons.